Good evening, this is Mr. Kagey, and welcome to 7th grade orientation, and I'm looking forward to working with you this school year along with Mr. Waddell on Team 7.1. So sit back and watch along as I show you using my desktop exactly how we're going to be working through a lot of these assignments. So looking at my tablet screen, and up in the right hand corner you'll see the blue C with the word Clever underneath it. That is how you access Clever through a tablet or even a Google Chromebook. You can put the app right on the home page. On a computer, you can put a shortcut on the home screen to be able to go directly to it. Or if all else fails, you can simply open a web browser, whether it's Safari, Chrome, Explorer, and type in clever.com. In fact, when you open up Clever and you sign in, it's just going to take you to an internet page anyways. So I've already signed in. When I open up Clever and I've signed in, and students will sign in using a student ID and date of birth, their homeroom page will look similar to mine, but just a little different because this is a teacher's page. As I go through my page here, I'm going to point out a couple of very important links that your child's going to use for math. The science link is not on here yet, but I will show you on a web page how to get to that. So under curriculum, you see McGraw-Hill. McGraw-Hill is the publisher of our math books. That is the app in Clever that students will use to access the textbook and many of the assignments that will be given. So when we open the McGraw-Hill page, it's going to take us to a page that asks us to launch the Reveal Math textbook. Now again, when I open this, it's going to look slightly different than a student's page because it does have the teacher edition of the book on it. However, what we want to do is we're going to open Course 2 Volume 1, and it's going to take me to the last page I was on as I was going through and looking at where we're going to be starting for this school year with ratios and proportions. So this is the lesson that we'll begin. This is the unit that we'll begin with on ratios and proportions. And you can see there is a lot that is going to go into this. But this is exactly the same book. Sorry, I went to a different page. The same book that your students are going to be using. And there's going to be a series of questions that can be answered in the book. You can see here there's a go online section. They'll work on this. I will teach a lesson each day. I will deliver a 10 to 15 minute lesson on video, and then we will open up to Zoom, and students will have the rest of that time, which will be 35 to 40 minutes, to spend with me asking questions, me giving them further examples, me walking them through how to answer questions, and then helping them to submit their work. So with each class, both math and science, they're going to get 35-40 minutes of just time in a Zoom classroom asking me questions and getting the information they need. So when I go back to my Clever homeroom, the second math app I want to show you is the McGraw-Hill's Alex app. And within the Alex app, it's going to give you lessons that I present that are independent lessons. So, and they're going to have multiple attempts to complete them and get things correct and be able to ask me questions again. I am going to log in, so I'm going to stop the video for a moment, and when we come back I will be logged into Alex and you will see what my page looks like. Again, it's going to be a little bit different because it is the teacher's page. Okay, we are back in the Alex page, and this is a class from last year, just so you could see what the page would look like when you logged on. You'll see, and for your individual child, you would see the pie report for your child, how much they've accomplished, how much time they've spent during the week, the last month, the last year on Alex. So all that information is going to pop up on their home screen. Now this is for my entire period 4 class last year, and the reason I've opened this up is I want to show you when they go into assignments, this is what their assignment page is going to look like, and it'll have a start date and a due date, and whether the assignment is open or closed for them to work on. Each of these, along the left hand side, you see initial knowledge check, scheduled knowledge check 1, copy of 90-minute goal, weekly goal. Those are all grades, and they're all going to be assignments that they can open up and work on. And then when it's completed, it's automatically graded by the program. It sends me the grade, it sends the student the grade, and everybody knows exactly where you stand as far as understanding the concept. And therefore, I can set up things to extend their learning or help enhance their learning if they're behind, and allow them to make up for things they've missed. Let's go back to the Clever homeroom. Okay, back in the Clever homeroom, we're going to move on from curriculum here. We're going to go down to district links. And this is important because you see within district links 2 things that they're going to be using a lot: Google Drive and Google Classroom. Google Drive is where they're going to be automatically all their work will be saved, and then they have the ability to share those assignments to myself and any other teacher or classmate that they might be working with for editing purposes, for sharing purposes. But it's important that they share any work I assign specifically with me. So let's take a look at my Google Drive, and within my Google Drive, it's going to also show you my Google Classroom, virtual classroom. So here's my Google Drive, and it's going to pop up the most recent things that I've done. A lot of this has to do with professional development that we're doing to prepare ourselves for your students to come back to school. But this first thing you'll see in the upper left-hand corner is the Virtual Classroom 1. This is my virtual classroom, and I'm going to go ahead and share this with you so that you can see, kind of get an idea of what's going to be given to you each day. So here's just a hello screen, a little cartoon character of myself, a math poster, a science poster in the background, and you see a whiteboard there with all kinds of different languages saying the word hello, just introducing us to a new school year. Going to the second slide. Okay, so I'm Mr. Kagey. I'm on team 7.1 with Mr. Waddell. We will study 7th grade math and science with me. Mr. Waddell obviously will be doing the language arts and social studies. And then the best ways to reach me. So there's my email address for Columbus City Schools. Make sure I'm going to leave this screen up for just a moment. You can write that down. And then the phone number below it is a texting only number unless I turn on phone calls. It is not my cell phone number. So if you text me at 6 o'clock at night at this number, I'm not going to automatically see it. I do try to check the number. It is only on my computer and iPad. I do try to check the number regularly, so I try to get back as quick as possible. But if you need to speak to me via phone call, we would need to set that up. And you can use this number again and we can talk, but it won't call in to me unless I say the call is coming in. So again, this is a computer-based phone number that will allow you to reach out to me with questions, just general concerns, wanting updates at any time. It is not my cell phone number, however, so it will not come directly to my cell phone. So you need to be patient as far as response time if it's outside of the school day. Okay, and again, just feel free to use that email address or that text-only phone number anytime you like. I will respond as quickly as possible. So going back to Clever, the second one I want to show you here is Google Classroom. And again, I already have it opened up so that I don't have to go in and type in my password and turn the video off. But if we go into Google Classroom, and this is my Google Classroom from last year. I do not have it set up for this year yet, but I wanted to be able to show you what Google Classroom looks like. So my students will have two classrooms with me unless they have me for core enrichment, which is 8th period every day. Then they'll have 3. Assignments will be put into these on a daily basis. Excuse me. So they will be sent out videos to Google Classroom. They will be sent out assignments to Google Classroom, and then Zoom links or Google Meets links, if we decide whatever's best for students to use is reaching out to me, will be sent through Google Classroom. Those links will be in my virtual classroom as well as the screen you're looking at now. So say your student has me for 2nd period math. That when they open up 2nd period math, there will first be a stream wall that will have all the messages I want to send to your child. Okay, these could be just, hey, good morning, how are you? They could be, hey, I need you to do A, B, and C today, whatever is necessary. In the middle, if they click classwork, this is where all their assignments are going to show up. And they'll be labeled under where to find them. You see the Alex assignments. Last year in the spring, we were using iReady, extended break work. So everything is loaded here, and it stays here. And even when things are past due, and they might be marked past due, they're still here for a student to go back and work on. If they talk to me and just kind of give me an idea of why they were behind, what they're struggling with, and what they need my help with. So this is probably the most important place within Google Classroom, is where these assignments are. Now again, links to these assignments will be in the virtual classroom every day too, but some people don't like to mess with all that. They'd rather use this very simple template that gives you the assignments and puts them in the order of which they were assigned. It's easier than sorting through a virtual classroom. So everything will be in both places. The last tab at the bottom is people. And this will show you all the people in the classroom. Okay, you will have access to have chats with other people in the classroom as students until I find a need to turn it off. I have not made it through a school year yet where I haven't had to turn it off just because there were comments being made that maybe were slightly inappropriate, or people were using it and cheating on work, and that stuff all shows up, so you have to be careful. The fun part of it is when you can get on and just chat with your friends and, hey, how are you? What's going on? What video game did you play? What movie did you watch? What was the song you were listening to? That's great. And I'd love for you guys to be able to interact that way with it. So use it appropriately. Don't make me turn that feature off. Okay? So going back to Clever one more time, just remember, most of what the district gives us is going to be in here. And it's going to be quick and easy access to links for your textbooks, your classroom, all your documents that you save, emails on your district emails on here. So if I send out a mass email, you'll see it. There's a link to Infinite Campus to keep up on your grades. Everything is here. The one thing that's not here yet that will be, I have it opened up for you to see, is CK12. This is CK12. This is what we'll be using a lot for science. CK12 is where you see I can give you reading assignments. I can give you practice assignments. I can assign videos to be watched. I can assign activities to do under PLIX. I can assign simulations to work on. Okay, CK12 is a great new website, a great new tool, a great new learning platform for us to use this school year. You can see the box that's popped up on my window, and I have that popped up on purpose. Learn more about the dashboard, take a tour. I recommend that when the first time you log into CK12, you take that tour so you understand what's going on. Okay, so with that, I think it's time for us to wrap this up.